All right. Okay. All right. Sure. So all right, wonderful. So let us begin this session of the flawless vision of our Gnani Purush Dadashri.
Nós vamos começar essa sessão então da visão impecável de Dadashri.
And we greet everyone, and
Saudações a todos.
and within each one of us is the absolute self, the Paramatma.
E dentro de cada de nós há o ser absoluto, o Paramatma.
And to that Paramatma who is absolutely without any attachment or aversion.
E este Paramatma está sem apego ou aversão.
To that one we give our highest namaskars or obeisance. Yes.
Então a este nós oferecemos as saudações mais elevadas, os highest namaskars a todos.
All right. And if there is no new ones here, anybody would like to sing the Tri Mantra, we would welcome them.
Shuddha convida a quem quiser cantar, recitar o Tri Mantra. Alguém gostaria de fazer o Tri Mantra?
All right. So let's have Maria Cristina sing the Tri Mantra then.
Maria Cristina.
Jai Sachidana Shuddha.
Jai Sachidana Shuddhatma Bhagwan. Yeah.
Namo Vitragai, Namo Arihantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Vasayaram, Namo Loye Savasauram, Esopancha Namukaro, Savapava Panashano, Mangalarancha Savezi, Padman Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Namo Vitragai, Namo Arihantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Vasayaram, Namo Loye Savasauram, Esopancha Namukaro, Savapava Panashano, Mangalarancha Savezim, Padman Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Namo Vitragai, Namo Arihantaram, Namo Siddharam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Vasayaram, Namo Loye Savasauram, Esopancha Namukaro, Savapava Panashano, Mangalarancha Savezim, Padman Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand.
Wonderful. Thank you, my dear Jay Sachidanand.
Obrigado.
That's wonderful, so wonderful. So, as we move into further reading of our flawless vision, let me pull it out for you.
Ele vai abrir a leitura da visão impecável.
Yeah, so let me pull that for you, and so we proceed with that. I'll be right with you. Let me just pull it. Flawless Vision, Portuguese. The last time we were there, we were on page 153. Let me share that with you here quickly. In chat. And let me pull that out. Flawless Vision. Documents, search, and Flawless Vision, Portuguese. And the last one we did that was on 20th July. And here we are. So now that I have it, let me quickly. And before I share it here, I just need to close a few pages on my computer so it and share the screen. And here we go. And let me okay, I'm sorry, I need to show you myself. So, oops. Oh, there we go. Now let me share. Can you see this document? Everyone sees
Yes.
it, Tony? Yes, wonderful.
Yes, it's
wonderful. Yeah, right. So it is only with the flawless one that we learn to be flawless, you see. And by being in company with those who have flaws, we continue with flaws, you see, or faults.
So you read the first paragraph, Shuddha?
No, I didn't.
Yes. You just make a comment.
Yeah, I'm just making a comment that
Okay.
it's only by being in front of the one who is flawless. By being with the one who is flawless, we become flawless.
Estando com aquele que tem a visão impecável, nós nos tornamos como este, com a nossa visão impecável.
Yeah, right. And those who have flaws, with them, we continue. You know, the world is like this Kali Yuga, times are such that you continue to get enveloped with the flaws, you see.
Então, Shuddha diz que também há aqueles que não têm essa visão impecável, e isso é parte do ciclo de Kali Yuga. Então, estamos em volta de também de situações que as pessoas veem erros nos outros.
Yes, and so we had covered this particular part, the vision of today and the record of the past life, the last time we were together.
Nós cobrimos a visão de hoje e o registro da vida passada, estão juntos. Foi abordado na satsang passada.
Yeah, and so now what we do is we proceed to the next one.
Então, vamos para a próxima página.
And we go to this heading, which is beautiful, the unparalleled and amazing Gnani of Akram Vignan, whose Guru Purnima we just celebrated, you know.
Então, estamos com o inigualável e surpreendente Gnani de Akram Vignan, que foi celebrado recentemente no Guru Purnima.
And not only we participated in the celebrations of his Guru Purnima, but we also became aware of more love and understanding for him, you see.
Não só participamos da celebração do Guru Purnima predada, mas ficamos mais cientes do nosso amor por ele.
Yeah. This is all a science. There are 2 or 3 words missing in the beginning. Excuse me. Yes, it is. Let me just mute Marlosi. Okay, all right, go on. It is all a science, you see, and so this 2 or 3 words are missing here. It is all a science. It is not a religion. Religions are found outside everywhere. Outside means outside this gathering of Mahatmas. And they are all relative religions. The term relative religion means religions that are temporary and finite. Real religion is permanent, eternal. This real science gives you the instant taste of liberation.
Então, dada disso, este tudo é uma ciência, não é uma religião, e as religiões são encontradas fora de em todos os lugares, e elas não são todas as religiões relativas. O termo religião relativa significa religiões que são temporárias e finitas. A verdadeira religião é permanente. Essa ciência real lhe dá um sabor imediato da liberação.
Once you taste and experience this liberation, you acquire the vision that this entire world is flawless. The world is flawless, is in your vision and understanding, whereas it is the experience of Lord Mahavir. In some instances, when you get confused or experience conflicts, this Gnan will arise that the other person and the world is flawless. That it is all vyavasthit, and the other person is merely instrumental or a nimit in the process.
Uma vez que você saborear e experimentar esta libertação, você adquire a visão de que todo mundo é impecável, todo este mundo é impecável. O mundo é impecável. Essa sua visão e compreensão que é a experiência do Senhor Mahavir. Em alguns casos, quando você começa conflitos, confusão, ou experiencia isto, esse Gnan sugerirá que o outro mundo é impecável. Isso tudo é vyavasthit, que o outro é simplesmente um instrumento, um limite.
The Lord has this in his experience, and I have this in my understanding, and this understanding prevails on the spur of the moment, and that is considered my Keval Darshan or absolute vision. Here we capital. Your Keval Darshan is slowly progressing. Why worry about Keval Gnan or absolute experience? E capital here, which is not attainable here on this earth. What happens when you focus your attention on Keval Gnan and try to invite it? You lose sight of Keval Darshan that you have acquired. Is the level of Keval Darshan, absolute vision, any smaller? It is at the level of a phenomenal wonder in this world. In this current era of the time cycle, to acquire Keval Darshan, absolute vision, is an extraordinary feat, accomplishment. It is a level that is greater than the level that was attained when the Tirthankaras actually walked the face of this earth. This is because at that time you needed 33% to attain this level. And here you all have attained it with only 3% of the marks. Out of a 100% marks, you only passed with 3%. Okay, so let you read this.
O Senhor tem isso em sua experiência. Eu tenho isso em meu entendimento, e esse entendimento prevalece sobre o impulso do momento e que é considerado o meu Keval Darshan, visão absoluta, visão com V maiúsculo. Seu Keval Darshan está lentamente progredindo. Por que se preocupar com Keval Gnan, experiência do absoluto? O que não é atingível aqui nesta terra? O que acontece quando você concentra sua atenção no Keval Gnan e tenta convidá-lo? Você pode perder de vista o Keval Darshan que você adquiriu. E o nível de Keval Darshan é menor? É um nível de admiração fenomenal neste mundo. Neste ciclo de tempo atual, para adquirir o Keval Darshan, é um feito extraordinário. É um nível que é maior do que o nível que foi atingido quando os Tithankaras andaram na face da Terra. Isso ocorre porque naquele momento você precisava de 33% para atingir esse nível. E aqui você tê-lo alcançado com a marca apenas de 3%.
The whole world is flawless. You and I, all of us in this satsang, have acquired this vision and understanding. B capital, U capital, understanding.
E a tradução é: o mundo inteiro está impecável. E você, Shuddha diz, todos nós aqui, inclusivamente, adquirimos esta visão com V maiúsculo e compreensão com C maiúsculo.
Wonderful. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to stop sharing it. We'll come back to it again.
Então, ele vai parar de dividir a tela e vamos voltar.
We want to appreciate the presence of all the ones who are here, especially the new ones, if there are any. And I want to make sure that the new one, because we are reading the terminal parts of this book now, the Flawless Vision, you see.
O Shuddha está concentrando a atenção dele nos Mahatmas novos e porque nós estamos, ele está concentrado no finalzinho deste volume da visão impecável.
Yeah, this is where understanding, this understanding that you and I are talking about, we are reading about, is a conversion of the understanding that moves from the intellect, the small u, understanding to the level of prajna, the U capital, you see.
Isso porque para que você entenda que você está se movendo do que você com o V pequenininho, se movendo para o V, você com o V maiúsculo, através da força, the energy of prajna.
Yeah, it requires our intellect.
Requer a função do nosso intelecto.
It requires our intellect to be able to read read and understand these words in English and in Portuguese.
Nós necessitamos do nosso intelecto para ler e compreender essa leitura que estamos fazendo em português e em inglês, é o que o Shuddha está dizendo. Usamos o nosso intelecto para isso, é requerido.
But it requires a special kind of intellect, not.
Mas é um intelecto especial, Shuddha diz.
It is the intellect that has learned to be submissive, you see, that has learned to be receptive. You see?
Intelecto que aprendeu a ser submisso e aprendeu receptivo.
Yeah, a submissive and receptive intellect, which says that whenever Dadashri is speaking, I need to shut up. Everything else needs to shut up, you see?
O intelecto tão submissivo e receptivo que quando Dada está falando, esse intelecto como se ele se abaixa, ele fica no nível para permitir essa recepção.
Yeah, I need to
se curva.
The intellect that goes in wrong directions stops, you see, and it is ready to receive now, you see.
Intelecto que se direciona para outros pontos, há bloqueio aí.
Intellect and that goes in all different directions is what happens in these relative religions. You see, Dada talks about these relative religions outside the satsang of Dadashri. When people gather, there are relative religions, and they are not real. There's no real religion there, you see.
E ele diz que esse intelecto que vai em todo lugar, ocorre com a religião do relativo. Religiões relativas.
It says that is mediated through intellect, you see, and nothing else, you see. So one person will say, I interpret this is how I see the Bible, this is what the Lord is saying. Another person will say, no, this is what the Lord is saying. Nobody really understands what is in the heart of the Lord, you see, what is really, because the Lord is not present anymore, you see.
O que acontece é que, por exemplo, uma pessoa está lendo a Bíblia e outra pessoa interpreta, não, o Senhor está dizendo dessa maneira. E esse que é o intelecto relativo. Então, o que acontece? A pessoa realmente não está vendo, não está sentindo o que realmente está no coração do Senhor, que está passando essa transmissão.
I know the Bible, I know the Gita,
Yeah.
I know the Dhammapada. You see, I have read it 100 times, you see.
Eu sei a Bíblia, eu sei a Gita, eu sei o Dhammapada, eu li 100 vezes.
If you really know, why are you not able to sleep at night in peace? You see?
E Shuddha diz, se você realmente sabe, você leu, porque você não consegue ter um sono calmo à noite, não consegue dormir à noite.
If you really know, then why are you seeing faults in your fellow human being? You see?
Se você realmente sabe isto, por que você está vendo erros nos seus dos humanos em volta de você?
If you really know, then why do you stumble and fall flat on your face and suffer so much in life, you see?
Se você realmente sabe, por que você cai e sofre na sua face dos seus apuros na vida.
Yeah, so this, as Dadashri clearly distinguishes in the first sentence of what our dear Tony read today in Portuguese, is that this is not a religion. This is a science. This is a science, you see.
Então, Shuddha diz que Dada explicou, ficou tudo claro na primeira frase. Dada diz, isto não é uma religião, isso é uma ciência.
Yeah, this is a science. And when the science is operating, science means where the intellect is not needed for further progress. You see, where the intellect has to sit on one side quietly because there is another, the science takes over.
Então, o Shuddha disse a ciência. O que é ciência? É o local, é quando o intelecto não é necessário para a pessoa progredir. O intelecto vai tomar um assento de lado. It's going to sit aside.
Yeah, yes. None of you will have any conflict or fight with anyone who comes from the deep jungles, forests of the Amazon, you see, with their religious understanding. You'll say, my friend, you're correct from the way it appears to you.
O Shuddha diz que nenhum de vocês iriam ter nenhum conflito com aquele que vem das profundezas da floresta amazônica, como se o que ele falaria para você seria uma pureza.
You see, so, this beautiful, what has happened? None of us has our fights with people, our subtle fights, not open fights, our subtle fight. Subtle fight means inside we disagree. If inside we say, those people are not our religious. They do different things, you see. That our fights completely have gone away regarding our approach to any human being with reference to whatever religion he is following, you see.
E o Shuddha diz que a nossa luta sutil, e o que ele diz que luta sutil é internamente, né? Nós não temos esta crítica com relação a qualquer religião. Basically, Shuddha, you said we Mahatmas, we do not subtle fights. We do not
have any negative. We do not have any negative feelings about those other people with
nenhum sentimento negativo sobre todas as religiões de nossas voltas, basicamente. É a luta sutil que ele refere.
We do not have any sense of, oh no, they're wrong.
Nós não dizemos eles estão errados.
We begin to understand that is a process that they are going through. That is fine for them, you see.
Entendemos que é processo que eles estão passando. Está ok para eles.
Whether he is whether he is doing a ritual in the streets of Brazil or in India, you see, it doesn't really matter, you see.
Eles estão participando de ritual nas ruas em Brasil ou na Índia, não faz diferença, não importa.
Yeah, but there is a total vision that has arisen through the vision of the self. The understanding of the intellect has been replaced by the understanding of the self. A pura understanding, you see.
Então, a visão do ser entende o que é traduzida como a visão do relativa foi substituída pela visão da alma pura.
And that understanding is the vision of purity and flawlessness, you see.
Entender a visão da pureza e da visão impecável também. Esse que é o entendimento, a compreensão.
Yeah, it is, thank you, my dear friend Santana, for all the translations that are going on. Vision of purity and flawlessness, you see. You see?
Visão da pureza e da impecabilidade.
You see, the small you understanding that was so divisive, mine, yours, is replaced by the whole, like the whole, where everyone is encompassed, everyone is incorporated, everyone's understanding is accepted, you see.
Então, o Shuddha diz que este pequeno você, com V pequeno, que diz meu, seu, foi substituída por essa visão que incorpora todos.
And she says this is the science, Dadashri says. This, before the world existed, before Christ and before Krishna and before Mahavir, this world has existed forever. And human beings have been there, and every human being with an intellect had his own religion, you see, his own view of looking at what is right and what is wrong, you see.
Então, antes de Cristo, antes de Krishna, antes de Mahavir, muitos seres humanos estavam lá com a sua visão da sua própria religião através de seus intelectos.
Yeah, and that, initially it is all, sorry, there's a little sound. Initially it is all through the intellect only and nothing else, you see. Initially it is always through the intellect, you see.
Inicialmente é sempre através do intelecto.
That intellect-driven view, you see, and then it proceeds further, you see. That intellect-driven view allows the human being in his life to understand what is hurtful and what is harmful. You see, what hurts and what is helpful, you see. And that is the beginning of religion. This is good, this is bad, you see, that kind of good, bad business, you see.
Então, o intelecto é o que dirige e nos guia, certo? Para ver, entende, religião, isso é bom, isso é mau.
Yeah, and and as the intellect progresses more and more, then it goes into an excessive mode where the intellect is used to manipulate other human beings in the name of religion, you see. which is what most traditional religion has done. In the name of God, a lot of blood is shed, you see.
Então, o que acontece, né? Esse intelecto continua a progredir e o que acontece que então os indivíduos passam a manipular e terem suas ações e colocam em nome de Deus. Então, há até lutas, derramamento de sangue.
And your ancestors in Brazil are witness to that, you see.
E os seus ancestrais no Brasil são testemunhas disso.
Yeah, your churches are laden with pictures of a lot of torture, you see.
As igrejas mostram retratos, estátuas exibindo tortura.
Anyway, so this, you see, when Dadashri says relative religions are finite, they have got a beginning and an end, so it keeps changing, you see. Everything keeps changing, It doesn't remain the same. New things come up, and the final absolute new thing is our Akram Vignan, you see.
Então, Dada diz que as religiões relativas estão terminadas, né? Então, aí, finalizadas. Então, há o surgimento do Akram Vignan.
Absolutely. Where only the time has come for those people those who have suffered so much through the use and the abuse of intellect, you see. Use and abuse of intellect, their time has come. They have grown, graduated, you see. And now they're saved. They're absolutely liberated, and they can see how intellect gets misused in human interaction, you see.
Just a clarification, Shuddha, in your first statement that people have had realization that the intellect was driving them to suffering, correct?
Well,
now
they don't. No, you're right. Only those who realize that, very few realize that their suffering is through their intellect. Yes, very few. Few.
I will translate that. Então, Shuddha estava dizendo que essas pessoas sofrem, né? Muitos não sabem por quê, mas no Akram Vignan, temos a realização que esse sofrimento é através do intelecto.
Yeah, you see, only, and these are the ones in front of, and these are the ones in front of us, our Mahatmas. You see, the world over Mahatmas, they have realized how they have suffered because of their intellect, not because of somebody else, because of their own intellect, you see.
Então, Shuddha diz aqui, por exemplo, os Mahatmas na nossa frente, todos nós tivemos essa realização através do Gnan, que nosso sofrimento vem através do nosso intelecto, não de outra pessoa fora.
You see? Yeah, you see, the path of liberation called path of moksha, you see.
É o caminho da liberação, é o caminho de moksha.
Is the path where the intellect is left far behind. The intellect is separated in essence, intellect is no longer needed, no longer given any serious negative energy within any one of us, you see. None of us are fueling bad intellect within us, you see.
Então, no caminho de moksha, certo? O intelecto é separado e não é necessário nenhuma negatividade. Nada negativo é oferecido a este intelecto.
Yeah,
em essência.
Yeah, this and this arises with the phenomenal awareness of who am I in all of this, you see. The world of suffering all around us, you see, the world from morning till evening. There is not one human being who is free from suffering of some kind or the other in this world, you see.
Shuddha diz que não há nenhum ser humano que está livre de sofrimento nesse mundo.
We know the words of Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavir and Lord Jesus become live for us, become our experience. You see, it's no longer something we read in the books. It becomes our experience, you see.
Buda diz que a palavra do Senhor Buda, do Senhor Jesus, do Senhor Mahavir, ficam claros para nós. Nos dão experiência.
We see violence and we see the causes behind violence. You see, we don't only just see the effect of violence, but we see what lies behind violence, you see.
Nós vemos a violência e vemos o que está atrás, por trás dessa violência.
Sorry, go on. I just muted her. Go on. We see the total iceberg. For those of you who have seen pictures or gone to Alaska or Antarctica, will have seen these huge icebergs, on top of the ocean. But that is just 1/10 of the picture. There is 9/10 inside the ocean, you see.
O Shuddha faz analogia para as pessoas que foram à Antártica, Alasca, que se deparam com um iceberg e uma pedra de gelo. Então, o que você vê é 1/10 do lado de fora, né, acima do nível do mar, da água, mas a base dele é imensa. É a profundidade dele.
What is this iceberg? It is not the body. It is not the body. This is the iceberg of kashais, you see.
Essa pedra de gelo não é o corpo. Essa pedra de gelo é uma pedra de gelo, as pedras de kashais.
You see, what comes in the news is only that which is on the surface of the ocean, on top of the ocean. What is driving this is 9/10 of the picture that is deep inside these human beings who have no awareness, you see, zero awareness of who they are, you see.
Então, essa parte que é visível só está na notícia, né? Na notícia, mas realmente os 9/10 que estão abaixo é que realmente they are the kashais that are there, right?
The whole it's the kashais, you see.
São os kashais que estão abaixo do nível da água, né?
In the news and in daily life, when you see somebody angry and exploding or being deceitful or hurtful to other human beings, that is just 1/10 of the iceberg. 9/10 is the kashais that exist within him that are not visible to the world, but you and I begin to see this now, you see.
Nós vemos isso, né, entre as evidências estão nas notícias e vem ações das pessoas, né? Realmente essas pessoas que estão com raiva ou que fazem coisas que não estão corretas, o que você vê 1/10 do que ele faz, e realmente esses cachás que estão embaixo, que a parte que está debaixo d'água são 9/10, né?
And we don't have to see that in the other human being. We are able to see that inside this one that we got separated from, this Shuddha, this Tony, this Shirley, this Santana that became separate from us, you see.
Então, nós vemos isso também, como o Shuddha diz, dentro de nós mesmos, este Tony, Shuddha, Santana, e nós nos separamos desse arquivo que está fora, no arquivo 1.
This instant result is the beauty of our Dadashri, you see, this instant magnificent result is the beauty of our Dadashri that, a short online Gnan Vidhi and you begin to feel this experience of the instant result. The load is gone. All of that garbage of all of that load of the iceberg is gone. You become free for the first time in your countless previous lives, you see.
Então, o Shuddha diz que essa experiência curta online, quando a pessoa recebe o Gnani através do Zoom, esse bloco de gelo que está abaixo, que não é visto, é totalmente dissolvida e a pessoa se libera.
He says, and he makes us repeat in the Gnan Vidhi, at the end of the Gnan Vidhi, that today, Dada Bhagwan within me, my Dada Bhagwan, my eternal one, my Lord, has burnt my sins of infinite previous lives, has burnt my sins of infinite previous lives, you see.
Então, Shuddha diz, né, as sentenças finais do Gnani, né, esse Dada Bhagwan queimou os meus erros, as minhas atitudes negativas por infinitas vidas passadas.
Sin, don't use the word negative, just use the word sins, you see.
Sin seria uma...
pecado.
Pecado, obrigado. Me faltou. São os pecados, né? Que se comete atos que não são corretos, né? Mas verdadeiramente pecado é uma ação incorreta.
And hence, I'm writing this down, I have attained the state of the self. It is, you see, this state of the self would not have been possible without the burning of these sins, you see. And
então eu atingi o estado do ser e isso seria impossível sem a queima dos pecados.
What is the sin of an infinite previous life? In every life, the sin was to believe and to claim something that we were not. We were not the body, we were not the mind, and we became owners of the body and the mind. That was the sin, you see.
Então, o que acontece, o pecado é que em cada vida que tivemos, acreditamos que éramos a mente e o corpo. E, na realidade, nós não somos a mente, não somos o corpo.
Of the mind body was the sin, you see, was the sin. That was the sin, nothing else. Nothing else was the sin, you see.
Nada mais foi o pecado, simplesmente acreditarmos que somos.
Now, for heaven's, for that has been released. Now, not even for a second, we will become owners of this mind, this body, and these words. These are not ours.
E agora, nem por um segundo, nós vamos ficar os donos, proprietários dessa mente, dessa fala, desse corpo.
Fatima Roselia Bebaber, do you understand, my dear, what we are saying here?
Fátima Rosélia está perguntando se você está compreendendo o que está sendo dito?
Sim, estou me esforçando bastante já. Estou lendo, não é, os livros.
She's reading the books. She's making an effort to understand Shuddha.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. We welcome you to this family of the enlightened ones of Gnani Purush Dadashri, the awakened ones.
Você é bem-vindo a esse grupo de despertos do Dada Bhagwan.
Obrigada. Estou muito contente.
You see, so, yeah. Any other definition of sin will sink you into more problems. You have to get out of this wrong ideas of sin from which human beings have suffered so much. It is a sin to call a man a sinner, you see.
É um pecado chamar homem, uma pessoa, um ser humano de pecador.
To call a man a sinner because now, now we know that he is flawless. You see.
Não, agora sabemos que ele é impecável.
It is the machine complex. It is this machine complex that unfolded in the effect, you see.
Esse complexo da máquina que está se desenrolando. Shuddha, you said any other definition of the sin is, what did you say? What?
Any other definition of the sin will sink you in the ocean of the relative world.
Ok. Qualquer outra definição do pecado vai afundar, você vai afundar no oceano da vida relativa.
That is the essence. That is the essence of the flawless vision of Gnani Purush Dadashri, and that is going to liberate you. We are on the path of liberation. We are not on the path of further entanglements with the world, you see.
E essa é a essência da visão impecável. E é este o caminho que estamos seguindo.
You see, and there is recognize the separation of the relative world and the eternal world. You see, you and I have entered the eternal world, and with the relative world, there is only one instruction, and that is the instruction of Agna 4. Settle the file with equanimity. Settle the file with equanimity. You see?
Então, reconhecendo a separação do mundo do mundo eterno e do relativo. Então, para isso, você aplica a Agna 4, resolve o arquivo com equanimidade.
There is no other view. There is only the view that is of the liberated ones of this universe, and the final liberator for all of us is Gnani Purush Dadashri. You see, we have ignored the words of previous liberators that we met in our previous lives, you see.
Então, ele diz que o libertador singular para nós é Dada Bhagwan. E nós encontramos outros libertadores em vidas passadas, mas o nosso libertador é Dada Bhagwan.
Dadashri is the Gnani Purush, and Dada Bhagwan is the same eternal one that you and I are, you see.
Dadashri é o Gnani Purush, Dada Bhagwan é o mesmo que nós, eterno que nós somos.
That eternal one that has awakened within him is the same one that has awakened within each one of us, you see.
O eterno que despertou nele é o mesmo eterno que despertou em cada de nós.
That the only difference is the eternal one within him went up to 356 degrees, and we are somewhere between 300 to 345, you see.
Então, a diferença é que o eterno que despertou em Dada 360 graus e nós estamos entre 300 e 345 graus.
You see, coming deeper into this magnificent, amazing state of the Gnani Purush Dadashri and his experience of flawlessness, you see, he is essentially saying that you and I, you guys, means all of us, you and I, all of us here in this satsang, we now understand, it has come into our understanding that this world is flawless. This world is flawless, all right? And he That is his experience. So there is a difference between understanding and experience, you see. That is the difference between him and all of us, you see.
Então, Dada diz que todos nós, nessa estação, entendemos que este mundo é impecável. E esta é a experiência de Dada. E o Shuddha faz a distinção entre experiência e compreender. The last word, the difference between experience and understanding, right?
Yes, you and I understand that the world is flawless, and Dadashri, that is his experience.
Okay. Então, Dada, ele experiencia que o mundo é impecável, e nós entendemos. Nós não chegamos ao ponto da experiência que Dada chegou. Basicamente, é o que o Shuddha falou.
Now, in that second paragraph, directly Dadashri says, shows exactly how we are going to proceed from the understanding of flawlessness to the experience of flawlessness.
No segundo parágrafo, nas palavras do segundo parágrafo que foram lidos, o Dada nos diz que vamos progredir de entender para experienciar o que significa impecável, visão impecável.
And that is, how does it, say Michelle had a very serious fight with someone, you see, very serious fight, because with another person. Now, you see, at that time, it will not remain in our understanding that other person is flawless.
Então, ele está dando um exemplo, por exemplo, a Michelle teve um conflito com outra pessoa e, naquele momento, ela não teve a realização que a outra pessoa é impecável.
Yeah, but later on that evening, the Gnan, the light of the self, the Amapura energy, you see, the Prajna will arise, will be there, which will tell Michelle, oh, it's not his fault, it is vyavasthit, it is scientific circumstantial evidences that made this fight, you see.
Então, Michelle, naquela noite, ela recebe essa luz do ser através do prajna, né? Que não foi esta pessoa que cometeu o que essa pessoa fez, que não foi essa pessoa, mas sim foi vyavasthit.
She will also understand that he is a nimit, he is an instrument to bring back the unsettled account from a previous life. You see, her own account of this fight. He is, you see, he's settling the account now, you see.
Então, esta pessoa, é um instrumento para que Michel possa usar, balancear, limpar este arquivo com equanimidade.
And this understanding that arose within Michelle, you see, is you capital understanding. This is amazing understanding. It will never arise in other people, you see. It is arising inside you, Michelle, you see. This is amazing.
E Shuddha diz que esta compreensão de Michelle, que surgiu dentro de você, com V maiúsculo, que compreendeu, não pode comparar com uma pessoa que não recebeu o Gnan, por exemplo. Eles não têm essa compreensão.
This is exactly what the Lord Jesus was trying to tell his fellow human beings.
Foi isso que Jesus Cristo tentou dizer aos seres humanos.
Only thing is, he did not have the complete knowledge that you and I have with reference to cause and effect. He did not give them that knowledge.
Mas as pessoas não receberam o conhecimento do Gnan, né, que naquela época não foi passada às pessoas, né, da causa e efeito.
You see, you get the total understanding of why this person fought with Michelle and why Michelle fought with that person. You see, you get the complete picture. You get the complete picture.
Você entende totalmente esse conflito que Michelle, que é outra pessoa, você vê toda você vê o retrato total ali.
And not only that,
Causa e efeito que o Shuddha
yeah,
falou.
and not only that, you also begin to see something much more. You see, in
Você
your
começa a ver algo mais ainda, muito maior.
on your own silent moments, your vision will go inside Michelle and you will be able to see where Michelle is wrong, where she is wrong, you see.
Então, no momento de silêncio, a Michelle começa a ver que Michelle não estava correta.
This is absolutely the sign of having attained the self that is separate from this Michelle complex, you see.
E nisso a pessoa entender, vincular a Michelle que estava totalmente separada do ser.
And the realization will arise that the other human being with whom you had such a terrible fight is flawless.
Também ter a compreensão, o entendimento que a outra pessoa que estava envolvida nessa disputa é totalmente sem erro, é impecável.
So in that respect, you moved from understanding of flawlessness to the experience of flawlessness. You see, you have moved from understanding of flawlessness to the experience of flawlessness. You see.
Aí a Michelle mudou de entender a visão impecável para experienciar a visão impecável, ver a pessoa sem erros.
You see, yeah, and Dadashri has used the word shoot on sight understanding. He says this is an understanding of shoot on sight. In other words, the moment it happens, my understanding immediately, absolute vision immediately tells me what is happening, you see, and yours will rise to my level. You see, that's the only difference. This is the second area where he uses the shoot on sight. Shoot on sight with reference to faults, and shoot on sight means immediately you're shooting the fault, you see.
Então, esse termo shoot on sight, que você atira na hora, né, imediatamente, para você apagar esse erro. É o que o Dada se refere a shoot on sight. Atire na hora.
Go on, I'm just going to block her. That's Solange, come on. Yeah, right. Let me just. Sorry, go on. I think you were interrupted.
Repetindo o que o Shuddha falou, esse termo de Dada, shoot on sight, né? Naquele momento que você reconheceu aquele erro, você não espera. É como você tivesse aquela ação de when you shoot on sight, you recognize you made a mistake. You don't see the other person's as
shoot on sight means you immediately say that he is flawless.
Ok, você diz, shoot on sight, você naquele momento você diz que a pessoa não tem erro nenhum. Você tem essa realização, você está separado.
Yeah, and if it remains shoot on sight, in other words, that is called absolute vision.
Essa visão absoluta.
That is absolute pure vision, because then you are not you're in essence separated, you see. You're separated from this. These fights of the Pudgal, you see, fights of the...
Nessa hora ele diz, você realmente está totalmente separado, se você tem essa pura visão, essa visão absoluta, você está totalmente separado do Pudgal.
Yeah, Pudgals, body complexes, when, you'll see, you and I have seen human beings who fight like cats, you see, women or men, fight like cats, and then, after a day or two, they're walking around and having a cup of coffee and, smiling, and you say, what the heck? I was stupid to think that, look at it any other way. This is how it is. This is how the world is, you see.
Shuddha dá o exemplo, né, que nós vemos pessoas que brigam como gatos, né, como dois gatos, e um dia depois eles estão sentados tomando café juntos.
So this is how it is, my friends. So, I am going sentence by sentence from the Gujarati and looking at it. Let's take a little break and then we'll return.
Vamos fazer pequeno intervalo e já voltamos.
Yes. Thank you, Tony and Santana. Jai Sachidana.
Shuddha.
Okay, hi Tony. So let us continue on this. Dadashri is in essence saying that our absolute vision is progressing, is in the process of increasing. Yes.
Então, Dada nos diz que a nossa visão absoluta está progredindo.
Now, you know, this absolute vision is definition is very interesting. And I'm writing this down. Elsewhere, it's a very interesting history. You know, Dada used to live in Mamanipur.
Ele está dizendo que o Dada morava neste local que ele vai botar aí.
Mamanipur, you know, Mamanipur was the little alley in which Dadashri's home was there, you see.
A casa de Dada, Mamanipur.
In Vadodara.
Baroda.
Vadodara, Baroda, you know, Vadodara or Baroda. Baroda is the British name, Vadodara is the Indian name.
Baroda tem a pronunciação da inglesa, dos ingleses, e a Baroda da pronunciação dos hindus. Baroda.
And some of you have been there and seen the
alguns de vocês estiveram lá e viram.
Seen the place which has now become a place of pilgrimage for Mahatmas, you see, because
agora se tornou lugar de peregrinação para Mahatmas.
Because that is where Dadashri spent most of his adult life and lived with his dear wife Hiraba, you see.
Ele passou a vida dele de jovem e também onde ele esteve com a sua esposa, a esposa de Dada, Miraba.
And you know, as you enter there, on the left hand side there are two little cabins, like structures, cabin like, you know, one is a toilet and the other one is a bathroom, you see.
E há dois compartimentos, um é o banheiro e o outro é o toalete, no lado esquerdo quando você entra.
So one day Dadashri came out of his bath, you know, and the bath is traditional where you sit on the floor and you just, you know, you yourself take the hot water, you know, and kind of pour it over your head, you know.
E o Dada estava tomando banho dia, né? E o banho que o Dada tomava parece aquele banho de caneca, né? Com a água quente que você coloca em cima põe em cima do corpo, né? Assim que é o banho.
And after his bath, he came out and, you know, he would have a towel wrapped around his waist, you see.
Depois do banho, ele vinha com uma toalha em volta da sua cintura.
And there was a gentleman, his friend, but also his, you know, his very close devotee by the name of Natukaka, Mahatma Natukaka, you see.
E um amigo muito próximo de Dada, ele está colocando o nome dele aí.
Almost Dadashri's age, you see.
Natukaka, da mesma idade de Dada.
You know, he's the one in the mid 60s started writing down, making notes of everything that Dada would say, you see,
Ele
everything.
tomava nota de tudo que Dada falava.
Yeah, he would take notebooks, or he would take this books, large books, and he would keep 2 carbon papers.
Dois
In
papéis de
those
carbono.
days, yeah, 2 carbon papers and a heavy pencil, and so he would write down, whatever Dada would say
E o
in
lápis bem
detail.
forte, e em detalhe ele escrevia tudo que o Dada dizia.
You say this is before the days of the recording of Dada's satsang, audio.
Isso foi antes dos dias que as palavras de Dada foram gravadas, né?
Yeah, and even before Niruma met Dada, in fact, even before Niruma met Dadashri, you see.
Antes que Niruma encontrasse com Dada, isso aconteceu antes do encontro de Dada com Niruma.
And so Dadashri came out, and there was Natukaka sitting there, in the other room there that we see, that bench, you see. And Dadashri told him, Natubai, because everybody, we add the word by, Natubai, write this down, you see. Write this down.
Então, o Natukaka estava em outra sala quando o Dada saiu do banheiro, e aí o Dada disse para ele, Natubai, escreva isto.
Yeah, write this down. And he says, and what did Dada say? This is very interesting, you see.
O que o Dada disse? Então, é interessante o Shuddha disse.
And I'm trying to think these words in Gujarati and giving to you in English now.
O Dada está tentando lembrar as palavras em Gujarati e fazer a tradução para o inglês agora.
So in this world, whatever is happening, you see, whether the world likes and accepts it or not, and I'm writing this down. I am not doing anything, you see. Now this is the sentence, you see. In this world, whatever is happening, whether in the word, instead of the word, I wrote word, whether the word instead of word, okay, and instead of word, whether the world likes it or likes and accepts it or not, whether the world likes it or accepts it or does not like it or accept it, I am not doing anything, you see.
Ok. Então, nesse mundo, não importa o que esteja acontecendo, se o mundo gosta ou não, eu não estou fazendo nada. Basicamente foi o que... What Dada told Natukaka to write
down. Yeah, but the sentence is not complete because I'm writing the rest of the sentence. Go ahead. I'm writing the rest of the sentence.
O Shuddha está escrevendo o resto da sentença, mas basicamente foi esse o primeiro esboço da frase.
It's called and the or absolute vision. Okay, this is very precious. Many years ago, when I read this, it just kind of my hair stood all my. I was so taken by it. You see, so and the continuous awareness of that is called Keval Darshan or absolute vision. You see, so now the definition is complete.
E a contínua consciência disto é chamada Keval Darshan, ou visão absoluta.
Yeah, and Santana has translated it completely for you.
Yeah.
So this is very, very precious, you see. So in whatever is happening, whether the world can afford it, accept it, like it, or does not like it, this awareness that I am not doing anything is absolute vision. You see?
Não importa o que esteja acontecendo no mundo naquela hora, certo? Dada diz exatamente que eu não estou fazendo nada e a consciência contínua que ele está na presença dele é chamado da Keval Darshan, né? Da visão com V maiúsculo, absoluta visão.
Absolute vision, which is the total vision of disconnection and
visão total de desconexão.
And the total vision of the liberated one, the total vision of and as the self, alma pura vision, you see.
Do liberado da alma pura.
Yeah. Everything else, and then how does he give it to us? This, for him it is a continuous awareness. For him this is the experience, you see. For him this was the experience since 1958, you see.
Para Dada, essa experiência estava lá desde 1958, contínua, experiência contínua.
Yeah.
Dessa visão, of this absolute vision.
Yeah, correct? That I'm not doing anything. You see?
Eu não estou fazendo nada, eu estou fora nesse estágio, with the experience of the Keval Gnan.
Yeah, absolute vision. Darshan, Keval Darshan.
Keval Darshan,
not Keval Gnan, not absolute knowledge, you see. Gnan is
Keval
knowledge.
Darshan, yes.
Yeah. You and I read, forget about Keval Gnan. That's not going to happen in this world, you see. So don't talk about, isn't this not?
Não fala sobre Keval Gnan, nós estamos falando sobre o que não vai acontecer nesse mundo, do Keval Darshan, da visão absoluta.
No, and you see that this was his experience. He never, in fact, the story is, and the fact is that when initially Natukaka started writing this, Dada said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "Dada, this is so beautiful."
E o Dada fez o comentário para o Natukaka, o que você está fazendo? Aí o Natukaka disse, Natubai, falou, isso é tão bonito, que he couldn't resist to write it down.
So the Dada says, no, stop it. It's not necessary. What I'm saying is only for you. You don't need to write this down.
E o Dada falou para ele, para o Natubai, falou, você não precisa escrever isso, eu simplesmente estou dizendo isso para você, não necessita escrever.
Yeah, but Natukaka was kind of insistent. He loved it so much. He says, Dada, please. Then he started writing. Then Dada says, okay, all right. But
Natukaka era muito insistente. Aí ele falou, ele convenceu o Dada. Dada acabou escrevendo.
Yeah, he was, he was quite a special gentleman, but
foi uma pessoa muito especial.
He wrote a lot. He wrote thousands of pages of what Dada said, and he kept on writing and writing and writing.
Escreveu bastante, páginas e páginas sobre Dada.
And in those days, Dada used to continue to speak. You see, just the speech would come out, you see.
Dada continuava com essas palavras, né? Com essas, fala saía naturalmente, espontaneamente.
So anyway, so how does Dada then give us this vision, this absolute vision? This is what he saw and experienced in 1958 in the train station at Surat, you see. This is what was his experience.
Então, o Shuddha diz, como que Dada pode nos dar essa visão absoluta? E Shuddha diz que isso que Dada experienciou na estação de trem em Surat, 1958.
So, you know, look at the way he gave it to us. He said, look at not only first he burnt our sins, you see, but he gave us the Amapura experience in the Gnan Vidi, and then he also gave us the Agnas, you see, the understanding of the Agnas by which this vision will rise within us, you see.
Então, o que Dada fez? Ele queimou os nossos pecados e nos deu a experiência da alma pura no Gnaviti. Então, ele também nos deu as agnas, né, que nos permite estar nesse estado de visão.
Yeah, especially the agna of vyavasthit, you see.
Especialmente a agna de vyavasthit.
You see. And you see this, you know, he started showing you the evidences. He said, you know, he started showing us the evidences in this example of the fight of Michelle with the other lady, you see. You begin, after the fight is over, you begin to see the evidences. You begin to see the evidences, you see. You don't... Go on.
Isso foi ilustrado com o Shuddha falou o exemplo da Michelle, outra pessoa no conflito. Então, aí que o Dada nos mostrou as evidências, né, que depois que aquele conflito passa, né, a Michelle pôde ver the evidences.
Yeah, you can see the evidences, you know. In fact, not only you can see the evidences of this fight that happened yesterday or day before yesterday, you see the evidence because of our infinite vision. I am the one with infinite vision. We can see the evidences of a fight that Santana had or I had with somebody in childhood. Can you imagine that as a child? You can see so many evidences. You know?
Então, por exemplo, você vê essas evidências. Então, de ontem, de tempos passados, né? Então, quando você tem essa Siristuti, né? I'm full of infinite vision, né?
Yeah, the infinite vision is I am full of infinite vision. It's the quality of the self, you see.
Então, você está na qualidade do ser quando você fala esse vyavasthit, né? Eu sou pleno de visão infinita, sou pleno de visão infinita. Then you'll be able to trace back
you can
something that happened when you were a child, right?
Yeah, you can see child, you can see everything. All of us can see anything we want to see. That is called the infinite vision now.
Então, essa visão infinita nos permite ver tudo que nós queremos, podemos atenção para ver, desde a infância, em qualquer idade, do que fizemos.
Because you were present then, and you are present now, and in your presence it happened. In your presence it happened, and in the presence of the light you can see. You see.
Então, porque você estava presente, você está presente lá na infância, você está presente agora, e você vê por causa da luz. Na presença da luz você pode ver, ter essa visão.
Yeah, so Dadashri says this Keval Darshan, this absolute vision is, you see, do you think this is an ordinary thing that is happening to all of you in this life, my friends?
Então, não, esse Keval Darshan, o Shuddha diz, você acha que isso é uma coisa ordinária que está acontecendo com todos?
this is more than enough if you can understand the beauty of what you have received, you see. If you can you, I mean, you know, whatever is happening, you're not doing anything in it, you see.
Então, essa visão incrível, o que está acontecendo, você não está fazendo nada, você ter essa noção do que isso representa é simplesmente like incredible.
Yeah, this is he says, this is the state of the this is the state of the what does he say? The wonder of the world. You have attained the state of the wonder of the world. You don't need to visit Niagara Falls or, you know, Taj Mahal or, you know, all the places, you know, to see the wonders, you know, you have attained this. You have attained this.
Yeah. Então, esse é o estado da maravilha do mundo. Você não precisa ir num lugar como Niagara Falls para você ver essas belezas, verdadeiras joias do mundo. Não, você recebeu isso. Isso está em você.
This is the wonder of the world. This vision that begins within you and I.
Então, essa maravilha do mundo, essa visão que começou em você, que está em você, em mim.
Which has begun, and in many of us it has begun. Excuse me. It is turning into the experience level also by that much, you see.
Então, em muitos de nós está se tornando devagar, de pouquinho a pouquinho, em experiência.
You see, when in the worst fight or once in the worst horrible treatment that you receive through someone, if you hold him or her flawless, you have entered into the experience of the self, you see, and you have moved from, by that much you have, you know, in that matter you have moved into the experience of the self, you see.
Então, o Shuddha diz que na pior briga, conflito que você teve, certo? E você, quando você tem essa experiência do ser, você pode ver tudo o que aconteceu e você moveu-se para a experiência.
Yes, that's
você,
you see, you have entered
Keval
into
Darshan.
From Keval Darshan, you have moved into Keval Gnan. You have moved into partial experience of the self, you see.
Você mudou-se para a experiência parcial do ser.
Partial absolute experience, is it not? A partial, you know, that is who I am. That is who I am. You see, and now you know who I am, and that is who that person is. What happened is these body complexes were fighting, these minds were fighting, these words were fighting, these tape records were clashing, you see.
O que acontece aqui, o complexo do corpo, o complexo da mente, da fala, é que estão lutando, né? Que estão em conflito. Você está separado.
The programmed machines were fighting. The programmed machines were fighting.
As máquinas programadas, the puppets, né? The bonecos, né?
Right.
As máquinas programadas.
Or as Lord Krishna will say, you think you are not going to fight? You're crying now to Arjuna. You says you are sad that you will have to kill your uncle and your cousin brothers over there. But as soon as the war starts, the programmed machine within you will take over.
Foi isso que o Lord Krishna falou para o Arjuna, né? Você acha que você não vai brigar, você não vai matar o seu primo lá, o seu parente, né? Desde o início, quando a guerra começa, isso vai acontecer.
It's a programmed machine.
Programa, é uma máquina programada.
So these are in front of us in this satsang, in the ones who are opening up their videos screens here, we see these are all programmed machines. You see?
Os que estão
Somebody is sleepy, somebody
alguém-
is hungry,
yeah.
somebody is thinking. Programmed machines.
Então,
And
Shuddha está falando os Mahatmas que estão com o vídeo aberto, e os Mahatmas que estão com o vídeo com a câmera fechada, são máquinas programadas. Alguns podem estar dormindo.
programmed machines and Amapuras too.
E alma pura também. Máquinas programadas e alma pura.
After a couple of hours, many of the programmed machines will hit the bed, you see.
Depois, 2 horas, essas máquinas programadas vão para a caminha dormir.
And some programmed machines will dream, you see, and some will be
E algumas dessas máquinas programadas vão ter sonhos também.
programmed machines, my friends, you see, you know. And we have become free from putting our finger into the program machine because our finger is precious.
E nós, Shuddha disse que nós nos livramos de colocar nosso dedo dentro dessa máquina programada porque os nossos dedos são preciosos.
This program machine may listen to you or may not listen to you. See?
Essa máquina programada pode escutar você ou não.
You know, you can tell the program machine, please don't fight, please don't fight. But
Você diga a essa máquina programada, por favor, não brigue, não brigue.
But you know, tomorrow comes and you know what he or she will do, right?
Amanhã chega e você sabe o que ele ou ela vão fazer, não?
But even then, you know, they're all becoming good. Some are becoming listeners, you know, and to the extent that they are surrendering, you know, we are grateful. To the extent they are listening, we are grateful, you know.
Então, algumas dessas máquinas, eles começam a escutar e depois, mas temos gratidão. Temos gratidão.
Yeah. So, all right, so let's take a little break and see if anybody wants to say something about it, because actually our discussion is not over yet. So I'm just giving, you know,
Shuddha pergunta se alguém tem algum comentário, alguma pergunta, porque o nosso satsang não está ainda ao término. Se alguém gostaria de falar algo ou alguma pergunta.
Tom, por gentileza.
É Margarida?
Adão.
Adão.
All right, Adão.
Jai Satchidananda.
Jai Satchidananda.
Adão.
Eu gostaria de fazer uma pergunta.
Faça, Adão.
O senhor conheceu Dada Bhagavan pessoalmente, né? Teve a ligação com ele.
Eu não ouvi, Adão. Repete a pergunta, por favor. Se ele, Shuddha, teve com ele?
Isso.
Okay. Adão asks if you knew Dada personally, Shuddha.
Personally?
Yes.
Physically, I have never met Dadashri.
Fisicamente, nunca encontrou com Dada.
No, but he has taken over every fiber of my being. Yes,
Mas o Dada tomou toda a fibra do Shuddha. Essa é a conexão que o Shuddha diz que ele tem com Dada. Shuddha is immersed in Dada.
Immersed in Dada.
Immersed in Dada.
Dada Maya. Yes.
A minha pergunta foi devido assim, escutando o Shuddha.
O Shuddha parece que ele
ele consigo conectar assim com as palavras dele, com a alma pura. É interessante a conexão, a energia.
The comment that Adão says is that through your words, he made this link of pure soul and Dada, and it led him think that you probably were like this. What is the gentleman who took notes, Shuddha. Nini kaka.
Yeah, Natukaka.
Natukaka, yes.
Yeah. Oh, my background is very much in the same areas where Dadashri, very much near. My parents came from very close to the areas of Baroda. My mother and my father are in the same. The language is the same. I'm a Patel too, you see.
O Shuddha diz que a origem dele é da mesma origem de Dada em Baroda, os pais eram de lá, certo? E ele também, Shuddha, também tem esse nome Patel com o nome dele. Então.
Yeah, but more importantly, I, from the very beginning, immediately upon hearing the words of Dada and the experiences of Mahatmas who had met Dada, I have been so attracted, so deeply attracted to Dadashri and his words, and I have connected with him through his words, you see, through his words, through his written words.
Então, o Shuddha diz que, ouvindo as palavras de Dada e também através das experiências do Mahatmas, Shuddha Shuddha sentiu uma conexão muito profunda com Dada, né, com as palavras.
Very soon after the Gnan Vidhi, in 1991, I started recording. I started recording his books in audio. You see, his words in Gujarati in audio, because of a nimit, my father-in-law could not read. You see, in one day I came home from my work and I saw him reading with a lens, Dada's book, and I said, "What are you reading?" Then I said, "I'll just record it for you. I'll record it so you can hear."
O Shuddha disse que ele Dada, Shuddha recebeu o Gnani em 1991 e daí ele começou a gravar em áudio, né, tape recorder, no gravador, as palavras em Gujarati. E o sogro de Shuddha, um dia ele encontrou o sogro lendo o livro e o sogro tinha um problema de visão. Então, o Shuddha disse: "O que você está fazendo? Eu vou gravar para você." Aí ele começou a gravar as palavras, as palestras do Dada.
And as I started recording, because when you record an audio book, you have to pay attention, and then Dada took over. Then Dada took over from inside, you see. All the love and everything, and then he came in my dreams, and all of those things. But so this is how this is the connection.
Então o Shuddha diz que com essas gravações ele parece que houve uma fusão dele com Dada, né? E então Dada também começou a aparecer nos sonhos de Shuddha, certo? Então é essa conexão, basicamente.
Yes, I found amazing beauty in his words, and I continue to marvel, because every time I read his words, I find new things in it. You see?
E ele continua, Shuddha continua a ler as escrituras de Dada, porque toda vez que ele lê, ele encontra alguma coisa nova nas palavras, nas frases.
And I see many of you nodding, and that is your experience too. You see, this is amazing stuff. This is amazing, and even today's reading, I find new. Everything is beautiful.
Ele diz que vocês também, quando vocês fazem a leitura, vocês descobrem coisas novas. Mesmo hoje, na leitura que Shuddha fez hoje, ele encontrou coisas novas. E isso é muito bonito.
You know, the work of finalizing the Dadavanis in English has come to Shuddha, and for many years now, and you know, and then when these are read again by our Gnani Puja Deepak Bhai in Parayan again, some of them, again new things, you know, beautiful new things come. So it is just, it's like Dadashri says, amazing vision unfolding, not only in the reader, but in anyone who is paying attention, you see.
E o Shuddha diz que ele, por exemplo, a finalização dos Dadavanis, isso está nas mãos do Shuddha, e depois que ele finaliza o Dadavani, vai para Puja Shri, e então o que acontece nisso, ele fala, é uma visão impressionante que está se desenvolvendo perante a ele.
Yeah, right. You know, and like, you know, we are in, we are in the 151st session of the flawless vision of Dadashri, and you know, soon we will come to the end of the book, and again, if we take it from the beginning, again it'll be new again, all over again, you see.
Yeah. Então, hoje, estamos na leitura, né, 54ª leitura, e quando você chega no finalzinho da visão impecável, você volta para o início outra vez, e nova leitura, new discoveries, now, outras descobertas.
Yeah, né? And this is why, and the reason is the book and the words are there, but what is happening is that more curtains are being opened in front of our infinite vision, you see, not in front of our intellect, but our infinite vision is getting more and more brighter, powerful, you see.
Então, o que está acontecendo é que as palavras e os livros estão lá, mas quando nós lemos, né, através dessa visão absoluta, muita coisa estão abrindo para a gente, muitas descobertas.
And I will share one more thing with you now that we are on that topic, is that I have always surrendered to Dada. You see, I realized from the very beginning that any ownership of these very, very precious words will make me fall down. You see, these are not my words, you see.
Yeah.
And, you know, and this is happening through some other amazing energy, you see. This is, so the more we let it happen, the more beauty comes out, you see, the more it connects with others like you all, you know.
O Shuddha também se rendeu a Dada e ele teve essa compreensão que isso não é propriedade, não é posse, essas palavras não são posse, não são propriedade de Shuddha, né? E isso abre um caminho enorme na pessoa.
Yeah, and yeah, so this is, you know, there are there is still more beauty to unfold within. There's a lot more to unfold, but you know, I'm just absolutely grateful for this magnificent gift of our Gnani Purush in the form of his words that have been brought together so beautifully by, you know, began with Natukaka writing them down, and then Niruma, and then so many others, you know, and then just, you know. it just went on and on, you know.
Então, o Shuddha está grato nesta beleza que é desdobrada nas palavras do Gnani Purush, e também que foram escritas por Natukaka, que tomou nota, né? E também por Niruma, que foi capaz de gravar esses pronunciamentos de dadas que estão documentados hoje.
Yes. All right, Dao.
Adão, okay?
Things, and more beautiful things will unfold within all of us. You see? Jai Sachidananda. Yeah. You know, because there are I see so many of you who are here for only one reason, and one reason only, which is to share without wanting anything in return. Just give.
E ele vê a beleza de vocês que estão aqui, né? Que realmente estão aqui por uma razão, que estão aqui simplesmente para dar e não querer nada.
Yeah, and you never look back. You never look back at what you cannot do. The important thing is jump in, you see.
Yeah. Você nunca olha para o que você não pode fazer, simplesmente você pula dentro.
Yeah. Oh, I am not good enough, or I can't do. There's none of that, you know.
Então você diz, eu não sou bom, eu não posso fazer isso não, realmente isso não existe.
I learned Gujarati as a little boy in Kenya, in East Africa, where I went to school, and then I was in India and studying medicine, and I used to write letters to my parents, you see, because we couldn't call, telephone was very expensive. So maybe all of this was important to in this training to be good in Gujarati, because my brothers who went to England, they did not keep up with it, you see.
Ele disse, Shuddha, que aprendeu Gujarati em Quênia, escrevia para os pais em Gujarati, né, da Índia, e o irmão de Shuddha que aprendeu o Gujarati na Inglaterra, não foi a mesma coisa. Uma experiência diferente.
Yeah, so it just kind of just leaps at you, they just kind of, it is one, at the end of the day, if I see one paragraph of Dadashri's words in front of me, I am in bliss beyond any words, you see.
Shuddha disse, se ele vê parágrafo, uma escritura por dada, ele está em plena bem-aventurança além de palavras.
Yeah, okay. So, all right. Anyone else wants to say anything before we move? I just noticed we are coming to there. Yeah.
Alguém quer falar, deseja expressar algo, algum comentário antes que terminamos? Parece que estamos na hora.
You see, when there were good times, Dadashri says, when the times on this earth were good, when there was a Tirthankar, a fully enlightened one on this earth of ours, like Lord Mahavir, what this you state that you and I have attained of, you see, Yamapura is higher than what we would have attained 2,500 years ago.
Esse estado que nós conseguimos de Yamapura, it's more precious than what we would have gotten
from Lord Mahavir. Yes, absolutely.
Say it again, Shuddha, please.
2,500 years. The Dadashri says there were good times on this earth when the times are good, when the times is good, then there is a Tirthankar present, you see.
Ele diz que quando as coisas estão correndo bem, há Tirthankar presente. Yeah.
You see, but Dadashri says, if you were present then, it is unlikely that you have attained what you are attaining right now, you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
E se você estivesse presente lá, não pode ser comparado ao que você está aprendendo agora.
That state is, I'm absolutely the non-doer, else non-fazedor. I am not doing. You see.
Eu sou absolutamente o não fazedor.
Yeah, the state of the non-doer would not have been attained. You see, we would have.
Esse estado não poderia ser conseguido 25 anos atrás. Então essa
This is higher. This is higher.
Então esse nível é muito mais elevado.
You know
eu não sou o fazedor.
That one would have been chronic, step by step. Here he has lifted us up directly. You know, that is why I visualize, you know, and Adao says, I can visualize Dadashri coming out of a bath, you know, with a towel around his body and says, Natu Bhai, write this down.
Yeah,
never would tell. He would never tell him to write anything down, but this one was too important to let go. See?
O Shuddha faz essa incorporação, né? Que quando o Dada saiu do banho, né? E o Nito Kaka falou, eu vou escrever agora. O Dada disse a ele, você escreva isso que é importante para você.
Yeah, the current state is higher. Can you believe that? Now, you know, Dadashri, very rarely he would say anything that would keep him at a level higher than Lord Mahavir, you know.
O Dada nunca dizia nada que o manteria acima do nível do Lord Mahavir.
You know, this here today, right here, that Tony, our dear Tony read, he's in which he is clearly written that what I have given you is higher than what you have attained. Had you been had you been around Lord Mahavir 2,500 years ago.
Ok, então o que nós lemos, o que o Shuddha disse que nós lemos hoje no parágrafo, muito mais elevado do que o que estava acontecendo 25 anos atrás, quando Lord Mahavir estava presente.
You know, because he is very, very humble. He says, I'm lower. He never would say this, but, you know, to this one, this part was so precious. This that he has given us is so precious.
O que Dada nos deu é tão precioso.
And this movement from absolute vision to absolute knowledge, you know, through the five agnas is so precious.
E absoluta, esse movimento da visão absoluta para as 5 agnas é incrível.
It's through the understanding of the flawlessness to the experience of the flawlessness, you see.
Entendimento e experiência da visão impecável.
You see, it's so precious that he doesn't want to let it go. He has to emphasize it. He says,
ele tem que enfatizar isso.
He says, I have to say it as it is.
Ele tem que dizer como é.
I have to give it to you as it is.
Eu tenho que dar a vocês como é.
All right, so Vishuddhatma Bhagwan,
então,
you know.
Almas puras.
Hi. Yeah, thank you very much, all of you, for your presence in this beautiful session of the Flawless Vision with Dada.
Essa sessão de visão impecável de Dada.
Yes, namaskars to all of you who are with.
A todos vocês.
And yes, Jai Sachidan, dear Carla, and everyone else, and Kayo, and, you know, everyone else who are also present in here. And Vanya, and of course, all the others that we are doing the darshan of, okay? And on the next part. Jai Sachidan, have a wonderful night. Jai Sachidan, Jai Sachidan, Jai Sachidan. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Santana. Jai Sachidan.